lipstick. So today I'm doing a video that I was actually requested to do quite a long time ago. A drugstore version and a luxury brand version of this. This would be my makeup starter kit that I would recommend to people who are either looking for luxury brand makeup or drugstore makeup. So I'm going to do two separate videos. We're going to start out today doing the luxury brand makeup one. So I have compiled a entire bag of luxury brand products that I recommend to anyone who's kind of like starting out in luxury makeup and not sure what to get. These are products that I think are worth the money and worth your time. And this could be good recommendations for even people who aren't unfamiliar with luxury brand makeup, who maybe haven't tried these products. So we're gonna go through this bag here. This is my cute little Clinique bag that I got for free from Macy's, which is awesome. So I'm just gonna reach in the bag here and grab the stuff in no particular order. So let's get into it. So if you are looking for a setting spray that is luxury brand, I definitely recommend any of the ones from Urban Decay. I find that they just have the best setting sprays. They have a wide variety for different skin types, and they recently just came out with a lot more, like not just setting sprays, but like beginning sprays, kind of like primer sprays and stuff like that. But this one is the one that I use. This is the Chill Makeup Setting Spray from Urban Decay. This is intended for people with dry skin. If you have oily skin, you definitely want to try out the All Nighter, and I do think there's another one as well. But I think these are fantastic, and this works so well for me. Next up, eyeshadow. So there are so many luxury brand eyeshadow palettes out there. But when I went through my collection and thought about the one palette that I reach for the most, that I get the most use out of, that I think is the most versatile, it was the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. So this is such a good palette. It has so many nice neutral colors in it, but then again it also has some pops of color with the green over here and also the purple. It's got a great shimmery highlighter shade and a matte highlighter shade. Lots of beautiful shimmers and mattes. It's a great mix of colors here. You can come up with so many different looks. I really like this palette. It has great blendability. I think it's a really great all-around type of palette. Now, as far as high-end foundation is concerned, the brand that I think really does foundation very well is Makeup Forever. I think they do a great job with color selection. They have a very wide range of colors, so you can most definitely find a great match for yourself. I also find that they have great formulations of different foundations. They have great liquid foundations, stick foundations. Really, anyone that you go with, you're probably going to have great luck with. This one that I have here is their Ultra HD foundation. I am in the color 110 or R220. I really like this foundation. It looks beautiful in photos. And yeah, so I definitely recommend them for their great range. Next up, when it comes to high-end primer, I have a hard time buying high-end primer just because I find that a lot of the drugstore ones that I've used are really, really great. But I have not found anything that compares to this particular primer from a luxury brand. This is the Benefit Professional. So I haven't found anything from the drugstore that works quite as well as the Professional to help me fill in those problem areas. It works really well even around the pores that I have around my nose, which are a little bit larger. And I just think it's fantastic. I can't find anything that works as well as this. So I don't think that contouring is a necessary step if you're starting out in makeup. But if you are looking for a luxury brand, kind of like a contour, bronzing, all-inclusive kit, I definitely recommend the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. I used to be obsessed with the Anastasia Beverly Hills one. I do think that's really good quality. However, I prefer the powders in the Kat Von D kit. I just find that they're a little bit more soft and finely milled, and they just look better on my skin than the Anastasia ones do. So I also like that the pans are a little bit bigger in the Kat Von D one. It's easier to get your brush into. The Anastasia one has round pans, and I just don't love trying to fit a big fluffy brush in the round pans. As far as blush is concerned, my favorite blushes from high-end brand are the Tarte These are the Amazonian Clay 12-hour blushes. I just find that they last really well on the cheeks. They're always coming out with like kits and stuff that you can buy during the holidays. They have a number of different finishes. This happens to be a matte one. This is the exposed blush. Really great for so many different skin tones. This is kind of a more universal shade. Again, this one is matte, and a lot of them also have shimmer in them, so you can really pick whichever finish you prefer. I'm just a big fan of these, and actually I wore this on my wedding day and it was just so beautiful. Love these. I do actually have another blush in here that I recommend if you're looking for something that's going to give your face a little bit more luminosity. I'm a huge fan of the Hourglass blushes. This one in particular is the Ambient Lighting Blush in Diffused Heat. It's a really gorgeous, cool toned, almost like poppy kind of color. And what I love about these is they have a little bit of micro shimmer in them, so when you put them on the face, they look very glowy. This is the blush that I'm wearing right now. If you can see, my face looks a little bit luminous. I really love the finish of these, and they last a really long time as well. They have tons of different colors, and again, you can get them in like kits with other products like their illuminators and their bronzers and stuff like that, and their face setting powders. So I definitely recommend getting like one of their large palettes. Most of the time they are limited edition, however, it's just a great deal for those because you get so many different products in one little kit. Moving on to all over setting powder for the face, I do have another Hourglass product that I recommend. This is their Ambient Lighting Powder in Ethereal Light. Now this is an all over setting powder. I think people get confused and think it's a highlight. It can be, but it's a very, very subtle highlight. These are actually mainly intended to be all over setting powders to set your foundation. This one I have here is an Ethereal Light. I chose this one because I have a very fair skin tone, and this is the one that works the best for me. But they have quite a large range of different colors to help match your skin tone. So I definitely recommend these if you're looking for a powder that's going to give you kind of a more luminous look. This is definitely not a matte powder. It does have micro shimmer in it. I do have it on my face today, and it gives me kind of that glowy look, but it's a natural glow. It doesn't look like I've got shimmery highlighter all over my face. It just makes it look like my skin is really healthy. Big fan of this. If you're looking for a more matte option of setting powder, my favorite one is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. This one that I have here is in the shade Light. Again, matches my skin tone. I love this one because while it's a matte powder, it doesn't ever look cakey or overly powdery. I do actually, I actually have both of these on my face. So this one is around the perimeter of my face, like in this, oh, I'm sorry. This one is actually on the T-zone of my face because I don't like to emphasize the scarring that I have and stuff. So this one is kind of like on the center of my face here, and then the Hourglass powder is around the perimeter. I love the combination. I like to keep it matte on areas that are problematic for me, but yet it doesn't look cakey, and it never draws attention to my like scarring and pitting and stuff like that. Next up, let's move on to highlight. So it took me a long time to kind of narrow down the options of highlight, but when I went through my collection and thought of the one highlighter that I think is really worth everybody's time, that was the Mary Luminizer from the Balm. So this is a gorgeous, gorgeous champagne highlight. It's about $24. You can get it from Kohl's or you can buy it online. They also have sales on HauteLook quite often, so you can get it for like half price. This is a beautiful champagne colored highlight, and I feel like it's so worth looking into because it looks so beautiful on so many different skin tones, from light to medium, even to dark skin tones. But this is such a good highlighter. It's so pigmented. It's just beautiful on the skin. I definitely recommend it over so many highlights at Sephora. I think this is a really great one, and it'll last you a long time. You get a lot of product in here, 8.5 grams. Concealers. So I have two concealers that currently are my favorites. Now I have to say I have not tried the Shape Tape yet from Tarte, and I've heard so many people rave about it. I haven't heard anyone say anything negative about it, so I can't recommend that because I haven't tried it. So these are my favorites. having not tried the Tarte Shape Tape. So, first of all is the Naked Skin Concealer. This is a great concealer. It's the one I'm wearing on my under eyes right now. This is great for my dry skin in particular. I have very, very dry skin, particularly on my under eyes. It gets a little bit crepey, and I tend to have like that really ugly kind of like creasing where it just looks dry and gross. This doesn't do that for me, so this must have a little bit more moisturizing properties in it. I also love that it comes in a wide range of tones, so you can choose. The one I use is Fair Neutral. So it's just a great product. It definitely covers the dark circles that I have. Big fan. Another concealer that I love that actually happens to be a little bit more heavy duty, it's got a little bit more coverage to it, and it's also really long wearing, is the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. This little concealer I've had forever. A little bit goes a long way, like a long, long way. You can squirt out the tiniest little amount and it can do your whole face. So I'm a big fan of this because it has amazing coverage. Like, it's one of those like super full coverage type concealers. You don't have to color correct your under eye circles if you have them, if you use this, because it'll totally just cover it up. It never looks dry or crepey on me, and it lasts forever. Next up, let's talk about eye primer. So my favorite eye primer, again, is another product from MAC. It is the Painterly Paint Pot. So I'm sure you guys have heard people talk about paint pots before. Some of the most common ones are Painterly or Soft Ochre. Painterly is meant for pink undertones, and Soft Ochre is the yellow undertone skin. So obviously I use the pink one. So I really like this because it's not, you want to use it kind of sparingly, because if you use too much it will get like crepey and pilly. But it never looks heavy, and it also really helps me to mask the veins I have on my eyelids. So I have like a lot of purple and blue veins, and I find that if I don't use a primer that will cover that, my eyeshadow just looks ugly. So I'm a big fan of this because it is full coverage on the eyelids. It also helps the eyeshadow stay all day. I never have any problems with creasing. I'm a big fan of this. Moving on to eyeliners, I have 3 to show you, and they're all kind of like different types of eyeliners. So the first one is my absolute favorite black eyeliner. It is a long wearing eyeliner, and it is the Marc Jacobs eyeliner. All of his eyeliners are so super long wearing. I'm such a big fan of them. It's the only one that I've ever found that won't smudge or fade throughout the day and get kind of like in my under eye area. It doesn't transfer to, if I put it on like my tight line, it won't transfer to the water line. Super, super waterproof and fantastic. I love these, and I love the fact that recently he came out with a whole bunch of different colors. So if you want a different color than black, he's probably got it now. So super, super excited about these, and I think they're fantastic. As far as my favorite nude eyeliner goes, the one that I love the most is the MAC eyeliner. This is it's the Studio Chromographic Pencil in NC15 and NW20. So this is just a nude eyeliner pencil. It's one of the ones that you sharpen. I love this because, again, it's one of those ones that's kind of budge proof. It won't move, so if you put it on your waterline, it won't transfer up onto the tight line. It doesn't come off onto the lower lash line or anything. It also works really, really well to mask the redness I have. My waterline is actually pretty red around my eyes, and sometimes it gets kind of purple from the under eye circles. This completely covers it up, and it stays all day. And the last eyeliner I want to talk about is actually a liquid eyeliner. It's a pen style one. This is the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in the color Mad Max Brown. This is just a sample size one that I have. I'll be honest, I don't like Trooper. I've swatched it many times next to some other liquid liners, and I find that it's just not as black as some of the other eyeliners that I enjoy. But I do really like this brown one. I find that it looks really, really nice. I'm able to line my upper eyelids with it nice and close to the lash line. Because I have hooded eyes, I don't have a ton of lid space. So I like something that can allow me to keep the line relatively small on my lash line. And this allows me to do that. It's super easy to use. It's one of those like brush tip applicators. Super user friendly. Great color. It's actually a really dark brown. It almost looks black. I'm a huge fan of the formula though. This does dry. It doesn't dry matte. It dries a little bit shiny, which I'm not a huge fan of, but you can just go over it with eyeshadow and like an angled shadow brush and cover up the shininess if you don't like that. But other than that, huge fan, and it lasts all day. Now we're on to mascara. Two of my favorite mascaras. I have one that I really like for upper lashes and one that I like for bottom lashes. So my favorite high-end mascara is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. It is what's on my eyelashes today. I find that it creates such beautiful volume for my eyelashes. I used to use Revitalash, but I stopped using it when I got pregnant. I don't think it's a pregnancy risk, but I just didn't want to take the chance, so I stopped using it. So now my eyelashes are back to like their short little stubby self, because if you stop using the Revitalash serum or any like eyelash enhancing serum, what happens is the long eyelashes that you grew do fall out finally, and then you're back to your normal old lashes. So anyway, this creates really nice volume for me, and it adds a little bit of length, but I like the fact that my lashes look really thick without having to wear falsies and without having to use the Revitalash. So I'm a huge fan of this. I think it's really a wonderful mascara. It's very black and it stays on all day. I haven't tried the waterproof formula yet, but I don't have any problems with this flaking or anything, so it doesn't really bother me that it's not the waterproof. For lower lashes, however, I really like the MAC Extended Play Lash Mascara. This used to be called Giga Black Lash or something like that. What I love about it is it's got a really small wand, so it's really great to define those bottom lashes. I actually really like this on my upper lashes too. It's all I took on my honeymoon, and I loved the way it made my lashes look, top and bottom. So I'm just a general big fan of this. It creates volume, but it creates more length than volume, and it's super black. So it really defines those lashes for you. Huge fan of this. I think it's great. And then finally, we are on to lips, which is the last product we have here. When it comes to lip products from high-end brands, there are so many out there to choose from. So I kind of thought about which brand I have the most lip products from and which brand I use the most, and that again is MAC. This is my favorite MAC lipstick in the color Heroin. It's a beautiful purple shade. I'll swatch it here quick for you. Looks like that. I love this shade so much, but I love the fact that MAC has so many different colors and finishes of their lipstick. They're not terribly expensive. They're about $18 a piece, 17 or 18, and compared to a lot of other high-end lipsticks, that's much cheaper. When you go to Sephora, I think a lot of their lipsticks, no matter what brand, like Makeup Forever, Tarte, what have you, they all run around like $22 and up. So 17, 18 is pretty good. Again, I love the fact that there's a wide range of colors and finishes. I'm just a huge fan of these. These were my very first high-end lipsticks that I ever purchased. So I have a little bit of nostalgia for them, and I just think they're really great. They also reformulated their matte lipsticks. They used to have like their retro mattes and stuff like that. They used to be really drying, but I think MAC heard our cries as consumers and reformulated them. So everything is a lot more hydrating than it used to be. They're always coming out with new colors and new collections, so I definitely recommend MAC lipsticks. So that was pretty extensive, but those were my recommendations for high-end products. If you're just starting out with makeup, or even if you're just here to look for some more recommendations of great luxury brand products, I really hope this video was helpful, and thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and have a great day.